It is a sunny Monday morning in the Pacific Northwest. Kirkland, Washington, the scene as we begin day 2 of the Junior League Softball World Series. We've got the Latin America champs from Guayama, Puerto Rico, and the Central Region champs from Hudsonville, Michigan. One day already in the book. It was certainly action-packed here yesterday in Kirkland, Washington, and pool play well underway. We're in the Pool A matchup here today between Michigan and Puerto Rico. A reminder that 5 teams in each pool, only the top 4 advance to the knockout stage, which begins on Thursday. So it's all ramping up, and the action is getting hotter and hotter as the week goes along. Welcome inside. We're on Field 2 of Everest Park. Troy Clarity, the coach, Kirk Walker, and you. Thank you for being here with us. Kirk, we've got 2 teams here today to begin our day that got up to fantastic starts, especially with their bats yesterday.
A lot of offense happening yesterday, and obviously we didn't get to see them. They were on the other field, so looking forward to seeing today and seeing that same offense out here today.
Yeah, Puerto Rico dropped 27 runs on Czechia yesterday. Meanwhile, Michigan with a 15-0 run rule win over the hosts, Washington District 9, yesterday afternoon. So both of those teams getting off to fantastic starts, and getting the start in the circle for Michigan today, a young lady by the name of Lila Connell. She did terrific things at the plate yesterday. More on that a bit later on in the show, but here Lila gets the start.
Yeah, Lila's going to get the start here today, and excited to see what she can bring. Obviously, her team had a lot of offense yesterday, and I'm sure she's looking to get out there and keep the 27 score that the other team had a lot lower today.
She'll be facing off against a batting order for Puerto Rico that is pretty tough. Anytime you score 27 runs, you're certainly getting it done at the plate, and doing fantastic things there. A reminder, in case you're new to Little League, if you're looking at the batting order and saying, hey, there are more than 9 names there, there's a reason. Continuous batting order is in effect in Little League. Everyone on the roster gets a chance to pick up a bat and play. So 1 through 13, that is the order. Nanielis Martinez drove in 4 runs yesterday. Britanelic Centeno, 4 for 4 with 3 RBI yesterday against Czechia as well.
Yeah, with 27 runs scored, you're certainly going to have a lot of at-bats going through that lineup. So certainly looking to see this team kind of continue to go out offensively and put some runs on the board.
And they played in the final game yesterday. They didn't wrap up until 8:20 p.m. local time. So a short turnaround, quick turnaround. And those young ladies are hoping that the bats have remained hot after a night's sleep. It's Casey Wilcox there on your screen. She's the manager of Hudsonville Little League, 41 years old, a global account manager. She says every game is about winning the inning, and each inning has 2 halves. Meanwhile, for Puerto Rico, Joan Vega is a 47-year-old PE teacher. He's also an international Olympic wrestling referee. How about that?
It's pretty impressive.
Varied resume for the managers here as we are underway. Puerto Rico and Michigan. Enjoy the game, everybody. Anna Arroyo beginning things, looking at the 1-0 pitch. It's a touch high, 2-0.
Obviously, it's important early in the game for the pitchers. Umpire strike zone, right? They're got their nerves going, but they certainly want to find out what part of the zones are going to get called. And strike coming across the plate.
That one's pumped down the middle, brings the count to 2-1. The Michigan defensive lineup, there it is on your screen. There's a swing and a miss by Arroyo. This count now goes to 2-2. Beautiful morning here in the Pacific Northwest. We're in Kirkland, Washington, opposite side of the lake from Seattle. 62 degrees as we begin here. Could get up to around 75 by the time it's all said and done. No threat of rain here today.
Certainly a lot nicer morning than we had yesterday. Yesterday was a little rainy, and the Northwest was welcoming us to the fields.
Payoff pitch on the way. On a couple of hops to short. Backhanded. Can't find the handle. Arroyo safe at first.
Arroyo's got a lot of speed, gets out of that box quickly and gets down the line. She's definitely a threat here to steal a base.
take another look. Brooklyn right at short. Couldn't quite pull it off. Yuri Tejidor, batter. Twisting down the third base line and foul. Yesterday, our day began with rain. 24 hours ago, our entire set was underneath a tarp. Don't have to worry about that today or for the rest of the week. We might touch 90 by the end of the week. Pitch up high. Now it goes to 1-1 on Tejidor. Yuri says softball teaches her teamwork, discipline, and never to give up. She walked 3 times yesterday.
Coming out swinging today for sure. She obviously saw a lot of pitches yesterday, and she'd like to put the ball in play a little bit more than just walking, I think.
Did still go 1 for 1 officially. The evening yesterday. 27-15 was that final score between Puerto Rico and Czechia yesterday. Certainly one of the higher scoring games I can remember. Runner going, throw high, and Arroyo safe at second.
Aurora gets a great jump off on the pitch. Wilcox not able to pull down a throw. Runner down in scoring position. It's going to be interesting. The outfield is still fairly deep.
Another look as Arroyo off and running.
It's a good pitch.
Yeah, Connell tries inside. Instead, the count goes to 3-2. What made that a good pitch, Kirk?
You know, she obviously fooled the hitter. The hitter was not ready for that inside pitch. Just missed the strike zone.
High fly ball, but well foul. Off on the field 3 off to our left.
Anna's got to be careful here and not give her anything too good. She's ahead in the count, this full count, but she's been swinging.
And she swings here and delivers a base hit. Runners at the corners. And now Tejidor takes second.
She does a great job of taking second base. Obviously, the throw coming home, and she took advantage by taking second base. Turns on that inside pitch. Gets a good piece of it, pulls it down that left field line. Hit a little bit too hard for that runner to score, but obviously they've got 2 runners in scoring position now, and in a great position here with their number 3 hitter up.
Nelix Centeno was terrific yesterday. 4 for 4 and drove in 3, part of the 27-run barrage for Puerto Rico yesterday.
That's impressive.
Appeal to first base umpire David Bice, who says that Nelix did not go around. So ball 1. Nelix also hit 2 inside the park home runs in the Latin American regionals. This is a bat that's been trending upwards at the right time of year, 2-0.
Absolutely. With first base open here, she's going to want to be careful here. She's behind in the count, so she needs to not be so worried about potentially walking her, but certainly giving her some still good quality pitches.
Strike 1 called. Quick throw to third. Close play.
Very
Royal
close
safe.
play. That runner at third really should be staying a little bit closer to home. There's no place for them to go. Last thing you want to do is be doubled off.
Very, very close. You heard the tag apply. But Arroyo just got the hand back in. Meanwhile, they count 3-1. I don't know in danger of walking. The bases loaded here. (3-1). In the air to center. Steenstra.
This could score a run.
Arroyo on the move, and she is in.
First one on the board today. Santana does a great job of obviously getting the ball deep into the outfield and allows Arroyo to tag up and score.
Arroyo waiting, and finally off to the races.
Head first slide into home base. Love to see that kind of excitement about scoring.
Maybe some style points there.
I don't know that she needed to slide, but love that intensity.
Umpires are taking a look and talking things over. Scott Masleroff is the crew chief. He's also calling balls and strikes for this game, and perhaps there might be some question as to whether Arroyo perhaps left early.
They have obviously instant replay and reviewable calls. They don't have to use it. The umpires can decide to use it on their own.
They're showing you what we have here. The rule for leaving early on the junior softball level is that the pitch has to leave the pitcher's hand. She did go back and tag up.
Obviously, she can leave the contact with the base at first touch with the ball. It doesn't even have to be the catch; it just has to be the touch. It looked pretty straight up, and it looks like the officials have ruled the same thing: legal tag up, and the run scores.
So it's official, 1-0, Puerto Rico. Brianna Sanchez, the batter. With a runner at third and one out on a couple of hops towards Lucy Baker, who's up and throws over to first in time for the out. Tejedor comes across and scores, 2-0, Puerto Rico.
Runner does a great job of reading that ground ball, slow ground ball, and was able to take home, no play. And Puerto Rico will absolutely take that run and sacrifice for the out.
Take that trade in a heartbeat. However, it is 2-0 now with 2 out. And Yayelas Figueroa is the batter. Her favorite athlete, Simone Biles.
She certainly is a great athlete to admire.
Swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-1.
Figueroa coming from the left side. Looks like she's standing in to hit, not working as a slapper right now.
Connell stepping back in. Now it's fouled off. The count goes to 2-2.
Connell's definitely settled in here a little bit. Both of the runs were scored on outs.
Puerto Rico looking for more. They had an 8-run inning yesterday against Czechia. They scored 8 in the top of the first. Czechia actually scored 6 in the bottom of the first. Then Puerto Rico scored 9 more in the top of the second. So it was 17-6 after an inning and a half yesterday.
That's a lot of offensive production for sure.
17-8 after 2 complete. Puerto Rico scored 4 more in the third. And had a 6-run 5th inning. So just a barrage of big innings yesterday for Puerto Rico. 27-15. I'm still mind blown by that final. It was a 5-inning game.
I'd love to go back and look at that box score and see how many pitchers were in that ball game. If not, it was a lot of batters to be faced for one pitcher.
Can't find it. It drops in.
A little confusion there. The left fielder stopped and thought that the center shortstop was going to make a play. It's really important. Obviously, anytime that ball's hit in the air, the outfielders should take that priority. And if they can make a catch, they should call the infielders off and make the catch.
Yeah, another look here. The call between Brooklyn Wright at short, Zoe Cole and left. I think Steenstra is also in center. So the inning continues. Nayelis Martinez, who went 3 for 4 and drove in 4 yesterday.
The outfielders are playing pretty deep, obviously respecting all the power and the runs that have been scored, but playing that deep allows for a lot of open space between the infield and outfield.
Strike 1 called. Count goes to 1-1. Going back to that game yesterday, Cheche used 4 different pitchers who walked 15 batters.
Wow.
That one's pulled into left field. First and second, 2 out. Inning continues. Good piece of hitting by Martinez.
Puerto Rico coming right back out offensively and getting the 2 runners on again here, even with 2 outs. So they're again threatening runner in scoring position. They just like to swing the bat.
Time called by Puerto Rico. Meanwhile, a chance for Breslin Wilcox and Lila Connell to exchange notes. Naelis Rosa, the batter. She's got her 14th birthday coming up tomorrow. She wouldn't mind celebrating early.
Absolutely.
Looks at strike 1 here. First and second, 2 out, 2 in. Smacked.
Well hit
deep
ball.
to right.
And
Back and gone. Happy birthday, Naelis Rosa. An early birthday.
Absolutely demolishes that ball right off the bat. You know that ball is hit out. Puerto Rico not done here in the first inning. 3-run home run. She is fired up. That is exciting to see.
Naelis Rosa. Her birthday is tomorrow, but why wait when you can celebrate today? That was just clubbed.
Driven down to right field, and outfielder had no chance to even get back to be in a position. Line drive hit on right on out. It didn't get too high in the air. It just went straight out.
Nope.
We saw a few home runs yesterday that had height on them, but that one was out of here quickly.
Adios, pelota. It's a 5 spot for Puerto Rico.
Probably had an exit velocity of 60 miles an hour. It was pretty quick.
Moments like that can maybe wish we had those.
It would be nice to have a little technology to see how hard that ball was hit.
Had the gizmos. And look, I'm not really necessarily into that kind of stuff as you look at it again and see the celebration start to begin for Naelis. But yeah, I'm not necessarily into exit velo and launch angle and all that stuff. But sometimes it is kind of neat to see.
She was quite excited. She was out of the box going quickly. She didn't think it was hit out, but she didn't waste any time getting out of the box.
Teammates ready, waiting at home plate.
Love to see that excitement.
Gianellis Roque into foul territory and hanging on Izzy Wilmore makes the grab. Side retired, but not before Puerto Rico scores early and often. Puerto Rico 5, Michigan coming to bat. Naelis Rosa's 3-run home run, the big blow as Puerto Rico scores 5 top of the first inning. Michigan will try to change all of that as they'll pick up the bats, and they'll be facing this young lady in the circle, Uralis Vega. Pitched for Guayama Little League 3 years ago. Check that, in the Little League World Series. That team went 2-2, so she has experience on this kind of stage.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see here. Obviously, she's got some runs to work with, which is nice. As a pitcher, you love to start the game with 5 runs on the board.
And as much as we've talked about Puerto Rico scoring 27 runs yesterday, it is worth noting they also gave up 15.
Yeah.
So we know Puerto Rico can score. Can it hit? Michigan can hit. They dropped the 15 spot on the host Washington District 9 team yesterday. So they're certainly very capable of putting up runs quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Absolutely.
Lila Connell in the 4 spot went 3 for 3 and drove in 2 yesterday.
This might be the game where the defense is going to win. Whoever can pitch and play defense might be the team, because both teams obviously offensively are dynamic.
Lucy Baker leading off for Michigan. First pitch swinging and got it.
Nice play by the shortstop. That's a tough play in between. Communication's really important, and she has the best shot at that. A third baseman going back is going to make a difficult catch. So she does a great job of getting over there, and Rosa makes the catch.
And Ailes Rosa brought her bat. She's also brought her glove, too, apparently. As you look at the entire Puerto Rico defense. Delaney Cribbs, the batter. Runs up like he's going to slap at it. Takes the pitch, goes over, called strike 1.
Defense is adjusting slightly, obviously reading the slap. See the third baseman in a little bit closer, and left field comes in a little bit, anticipating that she's not going to be hitting for as much power.
Pitch dribbles well handled by Tejedor behind the dish. Delaney's nickname is Diesel. It says her mom is not allowed to videotape any of her at-bats. That's okay. We got you covered, Delaney, on this one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Slaps
well
at
hit
it.
Ball in the gap.
And puts it into play. And it rolls all the
3.
way to the wall. Cribbs has a triple.
Really well hit ball. Drives the ball into that right center gap. And with her speed, coming in third, without a doubt. You can see that even she was in that move as a slapper, but took the full swing. Never hesitated coming around, and gives herself a, could be a stand-up triple. Just a little quick pop-up slide.
So Cribbs was off and running, and here is Brooklyn Wright.
Wright comes out swinging.
Takes that back to the screen. Brooklyn Wright, her dream job, sports announcer. It's not a bad gig if you can get it.
Cribbs obviously has speed here, so very likely to be going on the pitch on anything that's hit.
Thinks about it and held up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hudsonville Little League representing Michigan. They went 4-0 in the Central Region Tournament, knocking off Ohio twice, the second time in the championship game. 11-6 was that final. Fly ball to left for Arroyo.
That should be deep enough to score her.
Yeah, gets the catch, and the run scores. As Cribbs slides in, 5-1.
Love to see that excitement. Great tag up. She's going to score easy. Actually, no play on the plate, but she comes in sliding head first. I love to see that excitement. These athletes love to be able to score. Obviously, both teams love to put runs across the plate. As she's tagging up, she gets make sure she's in time, and even though there's no play, she comes in sliding in head first. Love to see it.
Get the uniform a little dirty.
Absolutely.
Lila Connell takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Connell 3 for 3 yesterday and drove in a couple. part of a 15-0 run rule win in 4 innings for Michigan yesterday. The 1-0. Down the line, backhanded and off the bag. And the throw gets away from second. Connell all the way over to second base.
One thing that's really important, obviously, managing those runners. You can't always control that. Ball hit that base and it's tough to play, but making it a needless throw here kind of opens up the door and it gives up another base. Now we've got another runner in scoring position.
Yeah, I think that ball just kind of snuck back past Martinez and hit the bag. Well, the second didn't help out matters much. Connell safe at second. She has been lifted for a courtesy runner as Brooklyn Wright replaces her on the base paths. And a first pitch swinging to center field. And the catch is made out there by Figueroa, retiring Lily Tuttle.
Well hit ball. No, there's
Yep, there
well
are
hit
3
ball,
outs,
obviously, and
and we're 1 inning in, and it's 5-1, Puerto Rico with the lead. It's been action-packed so far, just 1 inning in, and Puerto Rico has a 5-1 lead. Sure, those folks on your screen are quite happy about that. Second inning begins. 9 spot in the Puerto Rico batting order. It's Camelia Delgado.
Only hoping to keep them off base this inning. Obviously come out swinging aggressively, and Conley as a pitcher, obviously you want to work ahead in the count.
Doing just that. She's ahead 0-2. Liner goes over Baker's glove.
Well
into
hit
right
ball
field.
to right field. Does a good job here. Obviously, as a 2-strike hitter, she allows that ball to get deeper in the zone and takes it to the opposite field.
Some loud contact.
Absolutely.
By the Puerto Rico bats so far.
Drives that ball, obviously opposite field, and outfielder does a great job of cutting it off and trying to make a play.
It's the first safely. Camelia with her second base hit so far of the week. Heavenly Santiago drops down the bunt. Well played by Michigan.
Third baseman does a great job of getting in there, making the play. Makes a good throw, obviously, to first base, and records that first out.
Yeah, that was well played all the way around. A good bunt, well handled by the Michigan defense, and a productive bunt as well. Moves the runner over to second.
Another runner in scoring position here for Puerto Rico.
brings up Yoaris Vega. Says the most fun part of Little League is the time you spend in the dugout. I could see that.
These athletes love to have a great time with their teammates, cheering, hanging out. Obviously love scoring runs.
Yeah. Guayama Softball Little League. Guayama, Puerto Rico. Swept through the Latin America region tournament. Outscored their opponents 25-1 over 5 games. Hit the ground running so far here in Kirkland.
Looking to do the same thing here. Obviously, they come out as a potent offense for sure.
Strike one called. Count goes to 3-1.
I mean, the balls we've seen hit have been well contacted.
It's a bit in front of that one. Count goes full. Quick time called by Puerto Rico. And now back to action.
Again, the outfield for Michigan playing rather deep, respecting the power that Puerto Rico has, and obviously a huge strikeout there to get that second out.
Yep. Strikeout looking. 2 away here. And Tyrisha Chettini. Runner at second, 2 outs.
Connell would love to get out of this inning with no runs. Just not an easy task to do against Puerto Rico.
Fouled off, 0-1. Over there almost made a nice catch. Can we score that E fan? Bit more information on Tyrisha. No balls, 1 strike. In front of that one, 0-2. Guayama, Puerto Rico on the southern coast of the island. 55 miles south of San Juan. No balls and 2 strikes. Struck well and into center field. Delgado comes around and scores. The throw to second, safe.
It's a great attempt by the shortstop. Diving play, almost makes a diving catch that would have ended the inning. And instead, Puerto Rico gets another run.
Let's show you what we have.
Good base running here.
Yeah.
Such a close attempt there. Runner does a great job rounding third.
Here's the play at second. Might potentially be in some question, as I believe the call is about to be challenged. Casey Wilcox, the manager, making the call there.
Defense did a nice job. I think she gets in there pretty safely, and wouldn't anticipate this being a long discussion.
Then again, our opinions are not the official ones. But there was also the consideration of whether the shortstop was interfered with, but we'll show you what we potentially have here, but it appears that they're going to go ahead and play on.
The shortstop obviously made a great attempt. I don't think there was any interference by the runner at all, and obviously that's the umpires agreed.
First pitch to Chettini is just off the plate for ball 1. That's actually Paula Rodriguez who is the batter. I would love to find a way out of this one with just 1 run in. But that one's down the right field line.
Just foul. That would have easily plated another run, so they'll be happy to send her back to second base, and Connell will absolutely take the strike.
Paula Rodriguez says her teammates called her sin sentimientos, because she's usually emotionless on the field. One ball, one strike. Takes that one the other way towards the Puerto Rico dugout. One ball, two strikes.
Anna's got her obviously ahead in the count, and she needs to make sure that she doesn't leave anything too much over the plate here. Try and get her to chase the pitch out of the zone. Put the pressure on the hitter, obviously, to protect and have to open up the strike zone.
The 1-2 pitch. Hit to short. Once again, right over to first in time for the out. Puerto Rico does tack on one more. RBI single by Schettini. 6-1, bottom second coming up. It's a 6-1 ball game as we take you to the bottom of the second inning. Puerto Rico with the lead over Michigan. Little League and ESPN are proud members of the Aspen Institute's Project Play 63 by 30, focused on getting 63% of kids playing sports by 2030. Learn more about what Little League is doing to get kids on the field and all about the ESPN Take Back Sports initiative by visiting littleleague.org/projectplay. These youngsters are having a good time. I'm not sure what that is. That like a shark thing kind of thing?
They've got their own game going on out there.
I'm not cool enough to know what that was. Breslin Wilcox.
Well hit ball.
Right to left field.
Right
Dana Arroyo. First pitch swinging. One out.
Vega loves that quick out on her side on defense. Definitely doesn't have to worry about throwing a lot of pitches.
Certainly it would behoove Puerto Rico to keep Michigan off the board here. It was able to extend its lead back to 5 runs. First pitch well outside to Peyton Steenstra. Part of that 11-6 win for Michigan over Ohio in the regional championship. Steenstra drove in 5 runs that day. Well in front of that one with Vega changing speeds.
Great
1-1.
Off speed. Definitely mixing up the speeds there and disrupting the hitter.
Pitch just floats. Seems like it should stall out before it gets to home plate. A 1-1.
Another well-hit ball.
Yep, and this one goes to left once more. Back-to-back F7s.
Cole getting a lot of action there in left field. Handling both those plays pretty easily.
Arroyo, yeah. If I made a couple catches like that, I'd be dancing too.
Absolutely.
Katie Wilmore is the batter. Rolled up the middle, base hit. Wilmore is able to extend the inning. Her first base hit of the day. And it goes up and just gets that one.
Well hit ball right up the middle. Definitely puts herself in position to extend the inning here. And we've seen both teams score with 2 outs, so it's
Zoe Cole looks at the first pitch to her, miss for ball 1. Zoe took her first plane trip ever to get here to Kirkland. Facing the 1-0, taps it, fair ball, and the throw airmailed into right field. Wilmore on the move, and Cole safe at second.
obviously that errant throw, it allows both runners to advance, both in scoring position. Texador just a little too aggressive in trying to get rid of the ball too quickly. She had time.
Yeah. That throw never quite had a chance. To the 10th batter of the Michigan order, Rylan DeCock, who's fluent in Spanish. So perhaps you might be listening to what's happening in the Puerto Rico dugout. On one hop to short. That throw is in time. As Sanchez keeping her foot on the bag.
So well done there to recover from that error.
6-1. That's the city of Seattle, which is on the opposite side of Lake Washington. From where we are, there it is, the Space Needle right there, middle of your screen. Seattle, one of the more scenic cities you are ever going to find.
It's a beautiful setting, obviously, on the sound on one side and the lake on the other.
When the weather's great up this way, it's hard to beat.
And today is a beautiful day.
70 degrees. Could get it around 75 by the time we reach our warmest point of the day. Puerto Rico's bats have been quite hot so far this week, taking a 6-1 lead to the top of the third inning. Get back to the top of the order.
One of the great things about the Northwest is in the summers is that the humidity is pretty much non-existent. The only time there's moisture in the air is when it's falling from the sky.
As we found out yesterday.
That does happen often, but humidity is a rarity.
Pitch ricocheted, I believe, potentially off of home plate umpire Scott Masleroff. He's okay, giving a thumbs up.
Like Texador might have been mixed up there a little bit on the pitch, expecting a slower speed.
Dana Arroyo at the plate. Singled and later came around to score. Get the party started for Puerto Rico. Guayama on the southern coast of the island. Southern coast of Puerto Rico has produced Hall of Famers, over 20 Gold Glove winners, numerous All-Stars, Roberto Alomar, Sandy Alomar Jr., Benito Santiago, Orlando Cepeda, Javi Lopez, amongst the baseball greats that have come from that region. 1 ball, 2 strikes. She go around.
Lucy Baker taking the circle here and gets a strike out of that first hitter. She's bringing definitely a more heavy pitch and a higher velocity than Connell.
That is Lucy Baker. Threw 4 shutout innings yesterday. Another look at the first batter she faces here. Towards the strikeout. We think, for now, we might have certainly at the very least a conference amongst the umpires to confirm it. A reminder that the umpires are here on a volunteer basis. We'll show you again what we can show you. She hold up there.
Certainly looks like she makes an attempt there, also trying to get out of the way, but I think that's the right call. And Lucy Baker definitely bringing a more velocity to the circle.
So call confirmed by the umpires, but Juan Vega might want the crew to take a closer look at it with the help of modern technology. That's exactly what's going to happen. Managers can challenge as many times as they want. Here, perhaps, is probably the definitive angle.
And I think, obviously, as you said, they can review as many times as they would like until they have 2 failed attempts. So
they have up to 2 unsuccessful challenges. Of course, the evidence must be irrefutable. Call on the field was a strikeout. It was the initial look that we showed as Arroyo was, or that was self-defense. Here's the definitive look. What do you think, Kurt?
I think the athlete certainly was making 10, didn't really hold up the barrel. She was trying to get out of the way there at the end, but I think that's pretty hard to overturn. The umpires are looking at full speed and obviously believe that there was an attempt made on the pitch. I think when you watch in slow motion, it can look a little different, but still, I think the athlete's move to make contact was never really held up, even as she was avoiding the pitch.
Yeah, it can be tough sometimes to discern things in real time. Some very difficult calls that you have to make in bang-bang type fashion.
I would be surprised if this gets overturned,
so would I.
Stranger things have happened.
At the same time, though, there are some times, and I think you alluded to it, the fact that sometimes, you break things down to their last compound, frame by frame. You start to maybe see some things that might not quite actually be there, that might not quite have actually happened. So it's kind of the line that you have to walk. Now, check swing on the list of reviewable plays. Check swing is not on there. So this is not something that they can take a closer look at. So the call on the field will stand.
I think obviously going back to Michigan making this pitching change, I think they respecting and seeing that the explosive offense that you have on Puerto Rico's side, they bringing Lucy Baker in has been a good thing here. And obviously since it's a non-reviewable play, that doesn't count as a failed attempt.
Yep. Back to action. Tejidor.
And here we have another check swing on the first pitch. I think that's a little ironic.
Tejidor singled and scored in the first. Now she's down quickly in the count, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Cracks that one foul. Count stays at 0-2.
Baker definitely coming right at these hitters. I think Puerto Rico's going to have to make an adjustment and shorten up, I think, and make an adjustment.
First, it looks like Lucy wants to make an adjustment on the ball. Get a new one.
You know, that's it's tough to do when you get a new ball or a ball that's not worked in, thrown out there to the mound. It's even if you're ahead in the count, it's not really something you want to do.
Back to action. No balls, 2 strikes. Got her.
Great pitch. Nice movement. Up in the zone. Baker making a big difference. Obviously, 2 strikeouts here right away.
Back-to-back Ks for Baker to begin her time in the circle. Here's the latest.
Great pitch on that inner half with a little bit of lift. And most importantly, with that velocity.
Centeno up to the plate. Sac fly RBI. Drove in the first run of the game for Puerto Rico.
Catcher wanting to get that called strike, but didn't quite get it.
Centeno's favorite athlete, the great Roberto Clemente.
Hitter's pitch here. Centeno needs to dig in and look for a good pitch to take a cut at. Be on time.
Takes that one, called strike 1.
I think the biggest task for Puerto Rico here is going to be being on time.
Goes around 2-2. Yeah, you kind of see the different approach by Baker, and maybe Puerto Rico kind of in that adjustment period right now.
You know, it's human instinct when someone's throwing hard is to try and speed up and swing hard, and that's where we get a lot of check swings. Deep ball hit down the right field line. And the reality is you don't have to swing harder, you just have to start sooner. So getting these hitters to get on deck and kind of get their timing going so they start their swing a little bit more earlier in the motion so they don't have to speed up their swing.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
3 strikeouts.
Yep, 3 up, 3 down for Lucy Baker, who comes in and keeps Puerto Rico off the board in the third. 6-1 is our score as we head to the bottom of the third. Puerto Rico with the lead. Follow the amazing kids as they experience their own Little League World Series adventure. Download the Little League World Series app and watch highlights, photos, schedules, and more. Available in the app stores for Apple and Android devices. These are the young ladies from Mallory Creek Little League out of Charlotte, North Carolina, representing the Southeast region. They'll be taking on the hosts, Washington District 9, in our second game here on Field 2. Slated as of right now for a 1 p.m. local time start, 4 p.m. Eastern. Right now, we got to figure out who takes care of business here in our first game today. So far, it's been Puerto Rico. Michigan trying to change that. Mallory Duffler, the batter. Cubs fan at the plate. Waits on that one.
Takes the pitch. Michigan would love to put some runs on the board. They've got Baker in there and offensively doing some good things. They need to get some runs on the board here and put this game back into a closer game.
And had runners at second and third trying to start a 2-out rally in the second. The ground out thwarted that threat.
Hitter's pitch here coming up. Obviously, she needs to be prepared, jump on a good pitch.
R.S. Vega in the circle. In front of that one, 2-1.
It's good movement on that pitch, dropping down and in. As a hitter, obviously you want to be looking for your pitch in that 2-0 count, jumping on good pitch.
Two. Just able to get a tiny little piece of it.
A little bit ahead of that pitch. You certainly, as a hitter, you want to make sure that you can get your timing down by 2 and 3 pitches in. You should be better indication of your timing. First time through the lineup, though, here these hitters are still trying to figure it out.
Count full.
It's a good take there to take it to full count. Pressure here is on Vega, obviously, to bring a strike. Michigan would love to have a leadoff runner on here.
And he gets it. Leadoff walk.
It's exactly what Michigan needs. They have their number 12 hitter up right now and get right back to the top of the order.
Michigan dugout. Cheering them on. Lily Lubbers now at the plate.
Favorite food is pickles.
Okay. Lubbers drops
this
this one down. That's a base hit. Well done.
Well-placed bunt up the first base line.
And we're going over the third. Safe.
And really good base running. And here we're taking second base.
Boy, heads up play all the way around for Michigan, starting with the gorgeous bunt by Lubbers.
Lubbers has great speed, obviously putting that ball down in play, and easily was going to be advancing the runner to second base, but does a great job of avoiding stepping on that ball and then no play at first base. I think the interesting too there, the base running here, obviously taking third, makes a great slide. Third baseman focused so much on the runner at third.
Vega having...
I think he's saying that she called time.
With the umpires perhaps making the case that Lubbers should still be at first, that the play was dead, and that she should not be at second.
Yeah, time can't be called with the runners in between bases. So there's really, she seems to be in there pretty safe. Her foot on the base actually is part of the base. Umpire started to call time, but can't call time while the runners are between bases, so he pulls that back down.
Meanwhile, again, that whole thing started with a fantastic bunt by Lubbers.
Absolutely. Looks like Puerto Rico's going to take a timeout and talk about this defensively. A few defensive miscues, and certainly, I think, aggressive base running here by Michigan.
Well, and as many statistics are in baseball and softball, I'd really love someone to do a really deep dive and crunch the numbers. And I'm sure someone has. I'd love to find out how often a leadoff walk comes around to score.
I can tell you from 42 years of experience, it is probably more common than you would imagine, because leadoff runner getting on base, but leadoff walks are probably the worst thing you can do, especially when you are in the lead.
A new pitcher coming up for Puerto Rico. Michigan trying to get it back. In the circle after throwing 2+. The first two batters here in the bottom of the third reaching. They're at second and third, respectively. So now Tyresha Shatini is in the circle.
Michigan doing a great job, obviously, getting their bottom two hitters in the lineup on base, bringing up the top of the order with Lucy Baker, who's now pitching. And Michigan definitely using some momentum right here, hopefully to put some more pressure on Puerto Rico and get this game closer. Two runners in scoring position.
This will be the fourth different pitcher that Puerto Rico has used so far this week. They went with Paula Rodriguez and Brianna Sanchez yesterday against Czechia. Maris Vega with the start today. Now Tyresha Shatini getting the look in the circle so far in this game. Second and third, nobody out. Back to the top of the order we go with Lucy Baker. Popped up to short on a one-pitch at-bat in the first.
Pitching change is a good opportunity to kind of break the momentum, see if Michigan can maintain their momentum right here and get a quality at bat out of Baker. You know, oftentimes when you have a pitching change in a tight situation like this, you'll see the offensive team take until they get a strike, put all the pressure on the pitcher. I think it's a smart move. Keep the pressure on the defense,
yep,
and certainly on the pitcher who's coming into the game with runners in scoring position.
He took one pitch and decided to get rid of her protective mask. 1-0. Fouled off. And judging from Baker's reaction, she kind of wanted that one back.
I think,
shook her head a little bit.
A little off in her timing. Obviously, she's now in the circle, and she would love to help her teammate out, bring him in.
1-2.
Good job by Shatini here to get two strikes on this hitter. With first base open, Shatini needs to be really smart here, I think, and throw some quality pitches, but leave nothing over the plate. Force Baker to make some adjustments.
The 1-2. High and well outside. 2-2. Second and third. Nobody out. Duckworth will lead off walk at third. Lubbers drop down a gorgeous bunt single. She's at second. And there is.
Foul tip.
Yep, foul tip into the glove. Strike 3.
Baker thought she fouled it off, but catcher held on to it and got that first out of the inning. It's a big out, obviously, for Shattini, for Puerto Rico. But 2 runners still in scoring position and 1 out.
Delaney Cribbs, the batter. Cribbs tripled and scored in the first, and you see a new facet of her game that she just added this winter. Was primarily a right-handed batter, but over the winter started to develop her skills at becoming a lefty slapper. Seen the fruits of that work this season. Shows bunt, but bounces into Tejedor's glove. No balls, 2 strikes.
Obviously, with Cribbs up right now, she did drive a ball, hit a triple. With runners in scoring position here, not usually a situation where you're trying to short game. But now with 2 strikes, she's going to have to battle here and hopefully put something into play. Score the runner at third.
Tejedor setting up well outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Shattini doing a good job here, getting ahead early. Puts a lot of pressure on the hitter. And they're already feeling anxious, wanting to score those runners. So good chance for Shattini here to change speeds and or get Cribbs to chase something.
Yeah, this is potentially a crucial moment in this game. It is 6-1, but Michigan with a chance to get back within striking distance. Runs up, slaps at it, misses. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Impressive job by Shattini again. Second strikeout. Coming in cold. First innings, first batter she's faced in the Little League World Series here. Shown some great composure.
Great composure and attacking as well. There's strike 3. 2 looks at it there. Brooklyn Wright, now the batter. Sac fly, RBI. Only run so far for Michigan. Shattini tries to paint the outside corner, doesn't get the call.
It's a good pitch on the outside, a good pitch to start out with. Obviously, got a big hitter out here. You don't want to leave anything over the plate, but trying to get her to chase that a little bit.
Tejedor blocks that one well, keeps it in front of her. 1-1. Check that 2-0.
Shattini has to be smart here. Obviously, she's a little bit behind in the count. She does have first base open. So she's got to be careful not to make a mistake trying to get back into this at-bat.
Playable. Looking for it. And Martinez makes the grab for the 3rd out of the inning. Once again, Michigan second and third, but they leave him there. It's still 6-1. Been an action-packed start to our day here in Kirkland. Puerto Rico taking a 6-1 lead. Top of the fourth inning. Great to have you with us. Troy Clarity, Coach Kirk Walker, Brianna Sanchez, number 4 batter in the Puerto Rico order. Puerto Rico with a 5 spot in the top of the first. Added 1 more in the second. Michigan with 1 in the first, but second and third innings, they left them at second and third. And in the last frame, had second and third, nobody out, top of the order coming up, couldn't score.
Yeah, both teams have made pitching changes, obviously, and bringing in pitchers that have kind of shut down the offenses.
Lucy Baker, the second pitcher of the day for Michigan, struck out back-to-back batters to begin her term. Already has Sanchez down in the count 1-2.
Baker had a pretty decent day yesterday on the mound.
Yep. Strike 3 called here.
4 strikeout in a row here.
Baker had a very effective day in the circle yesterday. Here's video proof as she threw 4 shutout innings and struck out 6. Part of a 15-0 4-inning win over Washington District 9, the hosts. Doing very nice to the host team. Baker not very nice to Puerto Rico so far, striking out the first 4 batters as she's faced. Figueroa down in the count, 0-1. Aguiles Figueroa with a single and a run scored in the first.
Puerto Rico has to make some adjustments here and realize that Baker's throwing a lot more velocity.
We've seen some noteworthy pitching performances already. The best one that we've seen so far came from Faith Tamba from the Philippines yesterday. Took out 17
games.
Batters against the Southwest Region champions from Texas.
She threw 2 complete games and
yeah,
really impressive. Obviously, I think she had, what, 27 strikeouts yesterday?
10 in the morning game. A game in which she made really just 1 major mistake. It ended up being a 2-run home run by California at the top of the 7th inning that decided that one. She was not going to lose the afternoon game against Texas.
Her focus was clearly there.
High to right field. A lot of time for Cribbs to get there and make the grab. 2 away.
Cribbs does a nice job. Obviously, this is a well-hit ball, but hit too high in the air. Gives her plenty of time to set up and record that second out of the inning.
Yeah, sky's a bit milky right now, and there's a hint of wildfire smoke, as we do have some wildfires in some other parts of Washington State. There is an appeal to first base umpire Nanielis Martinez, held up.
That high and tight pitch has been effective for Baker. Got a few check swings on that earlier.
Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Martinez taking a good hack there. I think looks like she's more on time than the previous hitters.
Always good to be on time.
It's key as a hitter, obviously. Being able to hitting is a challenging skill set no matter what. But
well, you're from LA. Everyone's fashionably late down there, right?
Yeah, there's nothing called fashionably late when you're a hitter.
Late, you're sunk. 2-1. Bounces and skips to the backstop. Count goes to 3-1 on Nanielis Martinez, whose brother Nathan played in the Intermediate World Series in 2018, and the Junior League World Series in 2019. Her dad, Angel, was manager of that 2018 Intermediate World Series team and is a coach on this team here today in Kirkland.
Oh,
ouch.
Takes one off the leg. As hard as Baker's thrown, that's going to be a little bit painful. Pulling out the cold spray.
Yep. That caught her square. Lower leg.
She's probably all right and wants to get up and get to first base.
Perhaps hoping that she might get a chance to run it off, but in the meantime, make sure that everything is okay. Here's another look at it.
Ball gets away a little bit from Baker. Obviously, she's trying to work on that inside part of the plate, but tails out of her hand a little early and hits her squarely on the leg.
It's got that shin.
It's definitely a vulnerable part to the leg. You know, there's not a lot of muscle and
Yep.
flesh to kind of take some of the deaden some of the pain, so it's going to hit right there on that bone. She looks like she's all right. She wants to get to first base. Great sportsmanship right there. Baker coming over to apologize and
work out the kinks, make sure everything is okay. Appears perhaps actually they're taking a bit of a closer look just to completely make sure that she is okay enough to perhaps stay in the game. Puerto Rico with the 6-1 lead. We're in the top of the fourth.
Obviously they do have a courtesy runner rule here with the Little League, and if a runner is unable to run the bases, then they take the last out, can come in and run. Since all of the hitters are hitting in the batting order, there isn't any subs, but they can use a courtesy runner. But it looks like she's good to go.
She's got a smile on her face and she's ready to take first base. Meanwhile, Naelis Rosa stepping up to the plate. Last time that she was at bat, she did this. High and deep, not even very high to right field, actually.
Just
out of here for a
demolished.
3-run shot. Yes, indeed. Party was on at home plate for Puerto Rico. Part of a 5-run first inning blast.
Baker does a good job of going right at that strike zone on the outside corner. Challenging for a pitcher to be standing around and waiting, but she does a great job coming right back at her.
Outfielders are about a step away from the warning track. I don't blame them.
So there's a lot of open space in front of them, but not a lot of space behind them. So obviously a left-handed hitter, power hitter.
Go two.
Takes a great swing on that pitch. Baker's ahead in the count. He just really needs to be smart here. I think going outside again is probably going to be a really big opportunity.
Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. You just saw where the outfielders are positioned with Rosa at the plate. Rosa, by the way, has driven in 6 runs so far. That's a game and a half worth of work. Here she strikes out.
Big strikeout, obviously, from a big threat. Great pitch by Baker.
Yes, indeed, and that retires the side, and it remains a 6-1 game. Michigan trying to break through. Folks checking their phones for the latest information, I'm sure, all around the Junior League Softball World Series. Puerto Rico with a 6-1 lead here on field number 2. Behind us on field 1, they have been underway. The Southwest Region champs from Texas have scored 6 straight, and they've moved to the top of the 3rd to lead Canada 6-2. Sam Gore, Kenzie Fowler with the call over on field 1. Encourage you to go back and forth if you wish. There's action happening on both fields simultaneously. Kirk. We begin the bottom of the 4th with Lila Connell looking at strike 1. Lila, by the way, 3 for 3 yesterday. 1 for 1 so far today.
Offensively get done. She was the starting pitcher of this game and would love to help her team by leading off this inning.
Lila says her special talent is unleashing the most dramatic sneezes ever.
I saw that. That's pretty funny.
She might be running for that award with my wife. You might have to have a sneeze off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Changes speeds, timed, and on the ground to short. Throw over to first, safe.
Great hustle down the line. Shortstop makes a good throw, but a little bit delayed.
Boy, Connell turning on the Jets, legging out the infield single.
Really does a great job of hustling out all the way through that base. I think it's a good call there, and Michigan back with the leadoff runner on.
Getting runners on base hasn't necessarily been Michigan's issue. Pushing them across has been. Lily Tuttle at the plate. Smacked to second, rolled out there. Not exactly how you drop a 4-6 put out, but Puerto Rico will take it.
Conley definitely hustling in there to second base, but the deflection off the second baseman is convenient for Rosa to just pick it up and get the out.
Connell at full speed once again. That last little roll.
Technically still a 4-6 out, even if second baseman never really had control of it.
Breslin Wilcox at the plate. B-Dog. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Throw back to first. Relatively close play. Tuttle is safe. Wilcox flew out to left to begin the second inning. Breslin, his twin brothers, Hayden and Hudson. Breslin's mom is also the manager of the squad. Outside again, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Breslin also a volleyball player and played on a regional 14U team as the librero, back row specialist.
Yeah. Which makes her perfectly suited to playing catcher. That's such a defensive-minded position.
Absolutely.
2-1 the count. Hudsonville Little League out of Hudsonville, Michigan. It's in western Michigan, just outside of Grand Rapids. And that's right next door to Jenison, Michigan, home of the 2022 Junior League Softball World Series champions.
Tough play here.
Yep, to short. Throw to first. High and wide. Back across the diamond. Got her there. And now a throw to second. And Wilcox is safe there, but the lead runner erased eventually.
Third baseman does a good job of holding on the ball, though it did look like she bobbled the ball and then regained control. So I don't know if they're going to review that play. At this point, it doesn't look like it.
Well, you saw Tuttle needed a touch of help getting back into the Michigan dugout. Meanwhile, play unfolding, the throw to third. Yeah, just kind of that hard slide, just kind of hit the ground. And also into the infielder's left leg. bone-on-bone contact there, and that's about when the pain starts to set in a bit.
Contact happens obviously in front of the base, and some people might say is that an obstruction of the runner, but she's making a play and receiving the throw. So the third baseman has the right to be able to be in that position.
Going to bring a courtesy runner out to second. Cano back on the base paths with her speed. That's probably not a bad thing. Placing Wilcox at second.
Another aspect of that courtesy runner situation is with 2 outs, you can run for the pitcher or catcher. Kind of help with the transition. Obviously in this situation, definitely Wilcox has more speed. Or sorry, Tuttle has more speed.
That's in there for a called strike 1 to Peyton Steenstra. Hudsonville, Michigan, right next door to Jenison. On this event here 4 years ago, fun team to watch. Ball's 1 strike, that's high and outside. Count goes to 1-1. So Western Michigan has brought home the trophy before in this event. A bit more on Peyton. 1-1. Tied 2-1.
Puerto Rico doing a good job of managing. They had a couple of defensive miscues, but got some breaks out of the play and secondary plays that kind of went their way. So sitting here with 2 outs now after that leadoff runner getting on base.
Back to Shattini. Finds the handle. And that is the 3rd out of the inning. Michigan leaves another one on. They also had an out at third. 6-1, Puerto Rico with the lead. Six to 1 as we begin the top of the 5th inning. Puerto Rico with the lead over Michigan. We're in the middle of pool play. This is a Pool A matchup. 5 teams in each pool. Here are your latest standings. And a reminder that the top 4 teams in each pool head to the knockout stage, which begins on Thursday. Each of these teams 1-0 heading into the day. Which team ends up, stays a bit in the driver's seat. Close of business today, potentially in Pool A. That's what we're here to decide. Danielis Roque to face the 1-1 pitch from Lucy Baker, who has really slowed down Puerto Rico bats. He's coming on in the 3rd. Could be playable. Foul ground. grabbed by Wilmore. With her back to home plate. Bad work.
Baker definitely making an impact here and keeping that explosive offense of Puerto Rico kind of at bay.
The defense along the way, too. There's a swing and a miss, or at least maybe a foul tip, actually, by Camelia Delgado, who singled to begin the second. All of Puerto Rico scoring done in the first 2 innings. Baker struck out the first 4 batters that she faced, retired the first 5 overall. Did hit a batter, then recovered to strike out following that.
Absolutely.
5 Ks through 2 1/3. Baker. Delgado about to face the 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2-1.
Delgado's dream jobs, obviously she would love to be a veterinarian or a coach.
Yeah, her older brother, Yevian, played in Little League tournaments. Off the fist, 2-2.
And Little League has been such a big part of so many families' lives, both on the baseball side and on the softball side. It's amazing to see the impact Little League has had across the world.
Nice diving effort, but in foul territory. Yeah, bat and ball sports are kind of a thing in Puerto Rico. We gave you the list of dignitaries, and even just from the southern coast of Puerto Rico, the fantastic players that have been coming out of that region for decades, just even that part of the island.
Not only those that are from there, but from the heritage. Obviously, Lisa Fernandez, Puerto Rican descent, so we've had some incredible softball players as well.
Strikeout number 6. Lucy Baker sends Delgado back to the dugout. Evanly Santiago dropped down a sac bunt in the second. She's back at the plate.
Held up there.
Off of a high pitch, 1-0. Santiago. Puerto Rico will play 2 tomorrow. It's part of the scheduling during pool play. The international teams tend to have at least one day where they play a doubleheader, but they also, to make up for it, have a day off along the way.
It's a great opportunity for them to get away from the field and maybe do a little sightseeing.
Yeah. Rest a bit, recharge.
Rest? No need for rest. They're 13, 14, 15-year-olds. They don't rest.
Non-stop.
Parents get a little rest. I think maybe that's what it is.
Santiago walks on 4 pitches.
After a long day yesterday, I got back to the hotel and there was out in the parking lot with one of the teams. We're all hanging out and practicing their cheers. And meanwhile, I'm exhausted, thinking, what are they doing? Didn't they play today?
It was your bedtime by the time you got back to the hotel.
I got food and got right into bed.
Called it a day. Doris Vega at the plate. Vega struck out in the second. And that's an illegal pitch called on Baker, so the count goes to 1-0. There's a bit more on Vega.
Vega's obviously doing a great job in the circle and the first part of the game, and was relieved by Shattini.
Pitch a touch high, 2-0. Michigan, meanwhile, plays tomorrow and on Wednesday in pool play. They'll face Czechia tomorrow, which has really struggled in the circle. And the Southeast Region champs from North Carolina on Wednesday to close out pool play. And suddenly Baker is having some problems finding the strike zone.
It's a little bit of a feel there, and see if she can regain and come back for a strike. It's a good pitch on the inner half.
After 7 straight balls. The 3-1. Count full.
Pitching is definitely a feel thing, and sometimes can be thrown off a little bit and have to kind of regain the feel.
That's ball 4. 2-out rally, perhaps for Puerto Rico. Back-to-back walks.
Baker trying to keep this game within 5 and get her team back on offense. Puerto Rico trying to score. They haven't scored, I think, since the 2nd inning.
That was Shatini's RBI double. Yeah, it's the most recent run so far for Puerto Rico in this game. And you kind of get the sense that with Michigan's struggles in pushing runs across, it would be well behooved to try to keep Puerto Rico off the board here.
Definitely. Baker's done a good job, and see if she can keep it close here.
Gets to the backstop. 2 in scoring position.
Might see a timeout here. Baker losing a little bit out of sorts here. 2 consecutive walks and a wild pitch. Oh, here we see.
Yep.
It's a good timeout. I think opportunity to kind of just catch a break, kind of regroup.
Is there an art to calling timeouts?
There really
or
is.
Science, or maybe even a science to it, knowing when to head out there and try to settle things down?
I don't know if there's a science to it, but there's definitely a feel for it. And I think, you know, as coaches, we don't have a lot of ability to impact what's happening on the field. But when you can read a defense, you can read a pitcher, kind of just could be out a little sorts, rushing, maybe kind of be on their heels. It's a great opportunity to kind of just refocus and come back in. Sometimes it's the nerves, sometimes it's the pressure. But more times than not, these elite athletes here, if given a moment, can usually reset. So it's usually about resetting anything out more than anything else. You know,
usually after a timeout, the pitcher tends to deal with the next pitch strike.
Absolutely. And again, it's, you know, a chance to kind of, when you're in that circle, you're feeling a little bit alone, you're feeling kind of isolated, and your head might be kind of, self-talk might be kind of taking you down the wrong path. And sometimes just a human voice coming from somebody else gives you a chance to kind of block the negative noise and refocus. And I think that's a great way for those timeouts to be used.
Count stays at 2-2. Ball bounced over into the Southeast region champion rooting section. Those young ladies are waiting to play the next game on this field.
Vega coming right back here, and she's going to be looking to try and get a strikeout here.
And gets it.
And there she
Baker struggled for a moment, but able to find her way out of it. Puerto Rico leaving 2 in scoring position. After back-to-back walks, Lucy Baker strikes back with this big K. Door's still open for Michigan, but Puerto Rico still has a 6-1 lead as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. Well, we began play yesterday, but on Saturday, part of the festivities, the Challenger game, Junior League Softball World Series. It's always one of the highlights of this entire event, the Little League Challenger Division, where everyone gets a chance to play. It's what Little League is all about. And everyone has so much fun getting into it all. Good stuff.
Oh, it's a fun day out there. I think there was a lot of great things, and I think these athletes getting out there to work with some athletes that are challenged a little bit more. It's a great way to appreciate what you have.
Izzy Wilmore leading off for Michigan. Pitch high and a touch outside as well from Tyresha Shattini.
Michigan's been knocking on the door here a little bit, but haven't been able to put enough across. Lucy Baker keeping them in this.
Wilmore with a single back in the second. Swings and misses here. Michigan had second and third in the second, did not score. Had second and third with nobody out in the third, did not score. Also had an out recorded at third in the 4th inning. Couple of hops in a roll to short. Rosa got it.
Rosa bobbles that ball just a little bit in their transition, but strength of her arm is enough to get that play. Shattini doing a good job here of getting the leadoff hitter, ground out.
Just beating Wilmore by about a half step. Another look. Maybe a quarter step even.
It was close. Oh.
Off of Shattini, rolls to Rosa again, dribbles away. Delgado at first could not complete the play.
Would have been a great play. Obviously, well-hit ball up the middle off Shattini. Does a great job of knocking it down. Rosa does a really good job of picking that up cleanly, but a little bit of a low throw gets away from first base.
Delgado at first now, trying to corral the low throw. Doesn't get the clamps on it.
Didn't hit the dirt, but certainly was a little bit of a low throw.
There's an error. Zoe Cole trying to head to second, but this ball rolls foul. Ryland DeConck laid down that bunt.
DeConck just rushing out of that box a little bit much. Want to put that ball down fair. Obviously, first baseman is back, third baseman's in, so ideally putting that ball on the first base side to try and advance that runner.
Meanwhile, that was Puerto Rico's third error today. And it's been a reason why the door has remained open for Michigan in this game.
They've certainly they've opened the door a little bit and created some opportunities, and then they've come up with some plays right after. So unfortunately for them, those errors haven't come back to really hurt them. Michigan needs to capitalize at some point here. Game time is running thin.
One ball and one strike. Zoe Cole. Ryland DeConck at the plate. We get questionnaires from all the players. They fill out all sorts of information. Ryland's was a bit sparse, and towards the end of it, she says, look, I'm just here to win this thing. Snapped her back to first, and Cole is safe.
It's funny to see their personalities in those surveys they fill out. I think some of them put a lot of attention and detail to it. Others don't want to be bothered.
Yep.
They want to play ball.
I'm just here to win this thing, man.
But it is cool to see their favorites, their likes, the people that they appreciate and honor.
Tapped foul. Count stays at 1-2. All the memes that I'm not cool enough to know about anymore. One ball, two strikes. Runner at first, Zoe Cole. Fires inside, misses. 2-2.
Every out at this point is valuable right now for Michigan. They're down to their last 8 outs here. They need to put some runs on the board, so they don't want to give away any at-bats at this point in time. Everything needs to be quality at-bat as best they can.
A tie.
Working the count here. Anything she can do to pass the bat is going to be really important.
Shattini with 2 strikeouts, no walks to this point. Coming on to begin the third, or midway through the third. Payoff pitch. Slashed foul.
Fouled off. Keeping this at bat alive. I think Ryland's doing a good job here of making sure that she's giving her best effort in this quality at bat. Might be her last at bat of this game with the batting order of 12 people. It takes a while to come around.
Yep.
She wants to make sure that she can contribute, hopefully, to her team coming back. And that's a big walk right there.
Yep.
Not only moving a runner into scoring position, but adding another runner on base.
2 of them now, with Cole at second. Not joining her at first. Mallory Duffler, who had a leadoff walk in the 3rd inning, and seemingly a rare leadoff walk that does not come around to score.
Yeah.
Time called by Puerto Rico.
That was the leadoff walk was Vega, and first 2 hitters that Shattini faced, she struck out. Yep. So she had something to say about that leadoff walk from her teammate.
Yeah, Duffler walked, then Lubbers dropped down a gorgeous bunt. Everyone ended up at second and third as a result of that play overall. And that's when Shattini came on and just laid down the law, back-to-back Ks, and then induced a pop-up to get the 3rd out of the inning.
Absolutely. So this is the first time that Duffler and Lubbers will face Shattini. And then when we get to the top of the order, it'll be the 2nd time through for the hitters facing Shattini, who's been really effective.
There's Brianna Sanchez warming in the pen for Puerto Rico. Sanchez pitched yesterday against Czechia. Shattini hoping it doesn't come to that necessarily. 2 on, 1 out. Off speed, off the mark, 1-0. And Yelis Martinez at third is probably about 40 feet or so away from home plate.
She's in there very tight. Want to protect for anything a short game put down.
Instead, swinging away, Upper fouls it off.
At this point in time, I don't know that sacrifice bunt is going to be to the advantage of Michigan. Trading outs right now is not something they want to do. They're down to their last 8 outs.
Youngsters are glad to have a souvenir. The 1-1. Foul behind us and off to our right.
A couple of good swings here.
Yeah.
I think if you're Puerto Rico, you're seeing Michigan put the bat on the ball a little bit more. Something happens here, we probably will see a pitching change, I would imagine. And that's a hit. It's going to score at least 1.
Coming around and scoring. As the count comes through. And finally, Michigan which has been on the verge of scoring since the first inning, finally gets a run at 6-2.
Well, Dethler had been fouling off a couple of really good pitches and had looked really good, so not surprised there that she connected. Hard hit ball up the middle, and that's a huge, huge boost for Michigan, and the Michigan fans are fired up.
Steered that one through the infield. And Michigan is hoping for more.
Still have a runner in scoring position here with 1 out, 2 runners on, and they've cut the lead to 4.
And that was actually Zoe Cole who scored. Haka's at second. Duffler at first. Lily Lubbers.
Lubbers has a lot of speed, put down the bunt last time.
Yep.
Was safe.
It swings and misses here.
While a sacrifice bunt might not be smart, but with her speed, I could see her dropping a bunt here again, potentially bunt for base hit. Catcher reminding the third baseman to come on in and protect.
Down in the count here, 0-2.
Not as productive opportunity there on the bunt, but Lubber's still up here and still going to see if she can battle to extend her team's opportunity by passing the bat. 2-strike hitter to track the ball deep and go opposite field, hit behind the runners would be ideal.
But instead, a big strikeout. 2 away.
Shatini does a nice job. Now here's our second time through. This is Baker, who's been doing a great job in the circle. She was the first batter that Shatini faced, and Shatini won that battle. Baker would love to have a different outcome here and put another run on the board.
Baker 0 for 2 so far today. Baker, a big reason why Puerto Rico has been stuck on 6 runs since the second inning.
Absolutely.
Now she's hoping to make sure that Michigan gets more than 2 by the end of this inning. There's a called strike 1.
Interesting dynamic here. Obviously, the hitters have to keep 1 foot in the box, but there isn't a pitch clock that we have now seen in college or at the pro level. But
popped up and grabbed at third. Martinez records the 3rd out of the inning.
A little miscommunication, but they come up with the out, and happy to leave those runners stranded.
6-2, Michigan gets 1. And a good one here on Field 2, Everest Park, as we begin our day with Puerto Rico leading Michigan 6-2. Sixth inning about to unfold, but let's take a look and see what's happening on field number 1 behind us, as this has been a barn burner of a game. Quebec, Canadian region champs, scored the first 2 runs of the game. Texas struck back, took a 6-2 lead, and it's kind of been seesaw since then. Texas with an 8-7 lead. That game's in the bottom of the 4th inning. So
a lot of offense happening over there on that field.
High drama happening on field 1. This one's been pretty dramatic as well.
We've seen some ebbs and flows here, and certainly a lot of great pitching, but also some good defense.
Puerto Rico trying to ride a big first inning to a victory, but here they're trying to perhaps add on some runs late in the game. Paula Rodriguez with her first base hit of the week.
A rare hit off of Baker here. Baker's been really effective. It's the first solid contact really off of Baker that we've seen.
Look from Paula. Opposite field. That's not how you draw it up.
Well hit ball.
Back at the top of the order, Dana Arroyo. Arroyo singled and scored in the first, struck out in the third. The first batter that Lucy Baker faced drops down the bunt here. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Guayama Softball Little League, representing Puerto Rico. Maunabo Little League was the last Latin American region champion to win the Junior League Softball World Series. That was 10 years ago, 2016.
Fun facts.
Yeah. Maunabo also a 4-time winner, the most in Junior League Softball World Series history.
Obviously a lot of great softball and baseball being played down there.
No doubt. Looks like we might have an equipment switch as Brooklyn Wright, who is at third, decides she doesn't need the shades anymore. The sun is out, sunny skies, but the skies are rather hazy.
A little bit of a smell of smoke in the air.
Yep. Slow roller to first. And the throw gets away from Lubbers. Runners at the corners.
A little bit too hot to handle there. A little bit of a low throw. An effective sacrifice bunt here, and Puerto Rico's in a great opportunity here to put a run on the board. Regain that run from last inning. Well-placed bunt. Bunt's fielded pretty well, but that throw kind of handcuffed Lubbers, allowing the runner to advance to third and sitting here in the first and third.
That's a hit by pitch. Steamed by home plate umpire Scott Mazarov. Ira Tejidor takes first, and that loads him up.
Bases loaded here, no outs. Baker a little bit of trouble. Again, might see a timeout here.
Another look. Yeah, I caught her on the left wrist.
Caught her on the arm. It's interesting. That might be reviewable. She was squared around to bunt, and it looked like her arm was actually in the river. Might be worth a review.
Looks like it's going to stand. We'll play on. Bases loaded for Brichnelik Centeno. Drove in 3 runs in a 4-for-4 performance yesterday. A bit quieter so far today. This one's on a roll to second, throw to first for 1. The run comes across, 7-2.
Puerto Rico does a good job here of being on the angle down. As soon as that ball's hit down, the runner on third crashing home and scoring easily. Lubbers makes the play to 1, but infield is playing back, so the only chance to cut off a run is if they're going to be playing it a little bit tighter.
Brianna Sanchez. Past Lubbers this time. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. Sanchez on the move to second, and she is safe. Big time insurance runs. Brianna Sanchez brings in 2.
Huge hit up the middle, scoring 2, and really clutch hitting right there. Baker's string of scoreless innings has kind of been questioned here, and not sure if we will see Baker stay out there or make a change.
Sanchez with the 2-run base hit. Makes it a 9-2 game. Puerto Rico has scored 3 after being quiet since the second. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change for Michigan. Peyton Steenstra coming in from center, trying to keep Puerto Rico scoreless the rest of the way. Well, it started so well in the circle for Lucy Baker, but things have kind of wobbled sideways since. So Baker now out in center field after going 3 in the third, giving way to Peyton Steenstra, who comes in from center.
She really did a nice job of really kind of quieting that offense for a number of innings, and obviously Puerto Rico's offense is not to be held quiet completely, and comes back right here. We'll see if Steenstra can do the same thing that Baker did and make a difference here and try and stop this offense. Keep the game close. We've got a 7-run lead right here, and they've got to keep it close if they want a shot for this game.
Nadi Figueroa at the plate to try to add on to Puerto Rico's 3-run inning so far. Runner at second and 1 out. Figueroa looks at strike 1. She singled and scored in the first, flew out to right in the fourth.
Takes a good hack. Figueroa doesn't play a lot of other sports. She loves softball and plays softball. It's her lone sport. Favorite athlete, I think you mentioned earlier, Simone Biles.
Yeah. Go 2. Well low and outside, rolls to the backstop, and that allows Sanchez to take 60 feet. Sanchez with the 2-run double, biggest hit so far, 6th inning. Wilcox handles that one well. 2-2.
Wilcox getting a little bit of work in here, and Steenstra trying to find her groove.
Three and 2. Steenstra had gone ahead in the count, 0-2. Sanchez at third. Second, recovers and shovels it to first for the out. Sanchez scores, however, and it's 10-2.
Steenstra gets that out, but obviously not without giving up another run.
Lubbers at second, able to hang in there. Cover after the bobble initially, and able to make the play. Yelis Martinez at the plate. Was hit by a pitch, caught her square on the shin. Stays in. Count goes to 2-0. Puerto Rico plays North Carolina, the Southeast Region champs, tomorrow, as well as the Washington squad that's hosting this tournament.
A little doubleheader.
Washington District 9, Kirkland American Little League. This is their home park, actually, Everest Park.
It's a great opportunity, obviously playing on your home field.
Holds up. Count goes to 3-1. Kirkland. Did they name this after you, Kirk Walker?
No, but I certainly have always been glad to see the use of my name and that and products at Costco.
Yeah, and yes, it is that Kirkland. It's referred to by that business. That's ball 4. So runner on with 2 out.
Steenstra's a little erratic here. She's gotten some outs and thrown some strikes, but also has made Wilcox work a little bit here, kind of trying to find the strike zone.
Rosa with the 3-run home run in the first. Sent Puerto Rico on its way to a 5-0 lead before Michigan was able to even pick up a bat. Rosa's also been busy and making nice plays in the field at short as well.
She's had a lot of action for sure.
Here she's ahead in the count 2-0.
Scary hitter here. Obviously a 2-0 count. Steenstra wants to try and get a strike in, but has to be careful of leaving anything too much over the plate.
Big
An
cut
aggressive
there.
cut, yeah. I think the one thing we've seen out of this hitter, Rosa, is that she does not get cheated. Strong athlete.
Yeah, home run in the first inning that might not have gained more than 15 feet of elevation before going over the fence. Back-to-back walks, extending the inning.
Michigan wanted to get out of this inning without giving up any more runs and keep it as close as they can.
Well, and now, potentially, you might need to keep an eye on any more scoring from Puerto Rico. The 11th and the 12th runs potentially on base right now. As Yanelis Roque looks at strike 1. Might he potentially keep an eye on that situation? Roque with a couple of flyouts to first. Foul-outs to first, I should say.
The run rule is 10 after 5. They have those runners on base. Michigan is the home team, so they would get their ups, but they'd like to have both the 6th and the 7th to be able to try and score. And
Skips
now,
off of
actually,
Wilcox's glove.
both runners are now in scoring position.
Yep.
Base hit here could potentially put the run rule into effect.
There's the rule. Fly ball to right. And it drops in.
And that will score both. Diving attempt by the right fielder.
And now it's a 10-run game. Yanelis Roque bring in the 2 runs, and the 2-out rally continues for Puerto Rico. High in the air towards right field, gave her all, tried to dive for it, skipped off her glove.
Obviously, that's unfortunate and allows both those runners to score and actually another runner to be in scoring position. Michigan needs to get out of this inning and get themselves a chance to probably hopefully only have to score 1 to extend to the next inning.
Amelia Delgado, leadoff single in the 2nd. Scored a double by Roque, driving 2. That's right down the middle, 2-1.
Roque's dream job is to be a pharmacist. Her talent, her special talent that she says is singing.
Yeah,
but not very good. So I don't know if that's a talent or something she just loves to do.
Hey, just sing, man. That's all you need to do. Runner over the 3rd after the wild pitch. Three and 2 from Steenstra. May have gone around, she did. So a strikeout to end the inning, but 6 runs in for Puerto Rico. As they find the bats once again. They scored a lot early. Now they've scored a lot late. Big sequence here. Dianelis Roque with the 2-run double. And now in a run rule situation here, it's 12, bottom 6 straight ahead. Michigan down to its final 3 outs as we have hit the bottom of the 6th inning. Puerto Rico head by 10. That has put us in a run rule situation. Michigan must score at least 1 run. Try to take this game to the 7th inning. Begins with Delaney Cribbs, tripled and scored in the 1st.
Cribbs likes to use the slap, but in that 1st inning, she swung away, drove the ball into the gap. She just needs to get on base, give her team a chance to kind of bring her in, keep this game going.
No need to be heroes here if you're Michigan. Just get on base. Outside corner, 1-1. Shattini came on in the 3rd inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. Able to shut down that threat. Has only allowed 1 run since her term in the circle.
She's done a really good job. Actually, you know, they've had a few defensive miscues behind her, but they have kept Michigan at bay. She's come through with some big strikeouts as well.
Michigan at bay. There are a few bays in Michigan. There's Bay City. There's Sturgeon Bay, Michigan, I want to say. I don't know.
No pun intended, but yeah. Just outside.
Yep, just misses outside 2-2. I know that the trick to tell people where you're from in Michigan is to put the hand up, right? For the lower portion, the mitt. And to kind of point it where.
Right, you have to point it this way or that way. It's when you point it.
Right to third. Too high.
Cribbs' speed gets down that line incredibly quickly. Third baseman fields it cleanly, but takes a little too long to get rid of it. Rushes her throw and has to try and get rid of it quicker than she needed to.
Let's take another look at it here, especially from Cribbs' perspective.
I think even if the throw had been in line, I think she would have beat that out. Cribbs was on the move. Great speed as a slapper.
Well, that's step one. Scored an error.
Her speed on the base is definitely going to be a factor here. Michigan's got the heart of their lineup up coming up now, and they can get to Shattini. They might be able to extend the game into the 7th.
Brooklyn Wright, sac fly, RBI in the first. That is the 4th error committed by Puerto Rico, by the way. They had 4 committed yesterday against Czechia as well. It's fouled off. Puerto Rico going forward, obviously, if this result holds up, they'll go to 2-0 and pool play and be in good position. But you know they can score.
Yeah.
Pitching, okay. Defense,
It's we've seen a lot of different things. We've seen different paces and different strengths. Certainly the hitting is there. That's a key runner now at second base after that ball in the dirt. Brooklyn Wright trying to bring her in to extend the game. Brooklyn wants to come for our job, as be a sports announcer is her dream job.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Popped up, playable. Rosa calls for it.
Rosa does a great job of taking control. Communication is really important. Rosa is a confident athlete and has made some really nice plays.
Yeah, Rosa's had a terrific all-around game for the most part. Beyond the home run, has been in command in the field as well.
She had to make a lot of plays. She made a really great catch in the first inning behind third base, and been pretty solid on the ground balls.
Lila Cano is 2 for 2. She's 2 for 2 today, 3 for 3 yesterday. She has done her job at the plate so far this week.
She's been very effective and swinging the bat well. Would love to get another hit here today. Shattini going to do her best to keep Michigan from scoring and end this game.
One ball and 1 strike.
Donald's dream job, FBI agent or interior design. There's 2 extremes.
Fouled off again, 1 and 2.
guess there's some creativity to being an FBI agent as well.
Sure. I imagine that's a bit more by the book. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Back to Shattini. Goes to first with it. 2 away.
Down to the last out here from Michigan. Brings up Lily Tuttle.
Runner at third.
Had a little,
Laney, Cribbs.
we had a little bit of a contact with the third baseman there, a little obstruction, but runner doesn't make an attempt to advance, so there's no harm, no foul in that scenario. While there was contact, there was no advantage to be gained.
Tuttle looking for a base hit today. Cribbs at third. If she scores, this game will be extended. And that is backhanded by Rosa. And she's got no play to go. Run scores. Michigan stays alive.
Rosa does a good job of getting that backhand, but can't get up from the knee and make a play. Tuttle got down the line really quickly, and it's a clutch hit for Tuttle to extend this game.
Well, and I think a smart move by Rosa there, just holding on to the ball. No need to try to force what would have been a difficult throw. Michigan looking for more. Snow coned. Shattini over the first in time for the out, but we will go to the 7th inning. 12-3, Michigan with the lead. We're going to play a full 7 innings in this first game of our day here on Field 2, Everest Park. Kirkland, Washington, Junior League Softball World Series. Puerto Rico with a 12-3 lead over Michigan.
Michigan does a good job of obviously getting that run across to keep the game alive. They were down to their last out, and here we go into the 7th.
Meanwhile, on Field 1, it's been tightly contested over there. Texas with a 9-8 lead, top of the 6th over the Canadian region champions from Quebec. Quebec actually took an early 2-0 lead before Texas turned it on, and it's been in the lead ever since. Canada's been able to close the gap. It's over on Field 1, right behind us. That is a Pool B matchup. We're in Pool A mode over here on Field 2. We begin the 7th inning, Heavenly Santiago. Strike 1 call, Peyton Steenstra. third different pitcher used for Michigan today.
We had great exposure and great opportunity to watch a lot of Pool B yesterday, and today we're working with Pool A games.
Seeing how the other half lives.
Yeah. Just 2 games on the docket today for Pool A.
We'll have the other one. Washington versus the Southeast Region champs from North Carolina coming up after this one finishes. 1 ball and 1 strike. Santiago. Steenstra in the circle. Hit the second. The scoop to first from Lubbers. 1 away.
Handled cleanly and easily. It's a good first out for Michigan.
Connell who made the play. Michigan has been doing some shifting around personnel-wise with its defense. Part of that has been dictated from the fact that they've gone to 3 different pitchers. Lasered foul for Vega's bat. Vega strikeout in the second, walked in the 5th.
Great off-speed pitch.
Yes, indeed.
You can see that pitch fall off the table. Great change in speed. I think that's a really effective way for her to try and slow down this offense. Followed by a hard pitch that's fouled off late.
Yeah.
Again, it always makes the hard stuff look harder when the off-speed is effective.
Yeah, heads up over there in the Michigan dugout. No balls and 2 strikes. That one's hard hit and fouled straight up. Now stays at 0-2. Quebec, by the way, I understand, has just taken the lead on Texas. I heard some cheering behind us. 10-9 is that score. Quebec now on top. Allez, allons-y.
Let's see a change-up here. Great opportunity for a change-up, maybe. Stays hard.
2 away.
Second ground ball of the inning. 2 routine plays. Michigan loves to see that. Love to get out of this half inning quickly so they can get a chance to try and get some runs.
Yeah, Casey Wilcox, the manager, we brought this up at the top of the show. She says that every game is about winning the inning, and each inning has 2 halves. No matter how the first half of the inning goes, you have a chance to do something about it in the second.
I think it's a really great mentality to have, and,
Yes.
and it's a way for you to stay in every ball game. I think too many times the scoreboard can be overwhelming for a team or for athletes.
Big swing and a miss by Shattini with an RBI double in the second.
Shattini's done a great job in the circle and would love to contribute offensively here again. Michigan wants to have none of that and just get back into the dugout and try and score some runs.
The 1-2. It's about maybe 35 feet before bouncing to Wilcox. 2-2. Got her.
And here we go, bottom of the 7th, coming up.
3 up and 3 down in the top half of the 7th. Bottom half of the 7th straight ahead. Puerto Rico hanging on. Lunch is served. Looks like that's where we'll be headed after this game is done. But first, bottom of the 7th inning. Puerto Rico leading Michigan 12-3. And after our first game here on Field 2 is done, we've got another one coming up. Southeast Region champs from Charlotte, North Carolina, facing the young ladies from right here in Kirkland, Washington. That'll be our second game after this one is done. North Carolina, impressive. They rolled up 23 runs yesterday in a win over Czechia, who gave up 50 runs all told yesterday. Puerto Rico at 12-3. 7, 8, 9 batters due up for Michigan, beginning with Peyton Steenstra, who was 0 for 2. Chatini still in the circle as she has been since 3 batters into the 3rd inning.
If you're Chatini, you want to go obviously right at these hitters. Challenge them to hit the ball.
And get good plays from your defense, like that.
Quick outs are great. Third baseman does a nice job of staying down on that ball.
Elias Martinez had that one the whole way. Another look. Gathers it in.
Does a nice job. Good throw across the diamond.
Yep. Wilmore thinks about it. Called strike 1. Izzy Wilmore with a single back in the 2nd. Izzy says her pregame routine is to sit in the car and play her music at exactly volume 20. Back in my day, we just turned it up to 11. Hit to short. Rosa, 2 away.
Very efficient, great job. Rosa does a nice job. Good transition this time. Doesn't have a delay in the transfer. Quick 2 outs recorded.
Brings up Zoe Cole.
Puerto Rico's feeling it over here. Their fans are anxious for the game to end and get a chance to hug their daughters and players.
Cole reached on an error in the 2nd. Scored in the 5th. By my count, Michigan has left 9 batters on base.
Cole keeping this thing going. Looks like we'll have a double.
Yeah, Cole able to extend things here and get her first base hit of the day.
It's a well-hit ball. Stays inside of it. Takes that ball to the opposite field. Michigan keeping themselves alive.
Another look now from behind home plate with Cole. Nice swing.
Defense does a good job of trying to cut that off and get it in quickly, but Cole standing up second base. Stand-up double.
Cole at second. Ryland DeCock at the plate. She walked in her last plate appearance. Big cut, swing and a miss.
Nothing changes for Chatini here. So obviously still have the 9-run lead. Just looking to go right at these hitters. Michigan down to their last out.
It was a 5-inning win for Puerto Rico yesterday against Czechia. It was a 27-15 final. For what it's worth, Czechia did score 4 runs in that bottom half of the 5th inning. Runner at second. Outside corner call.
Chatini bringing the strikes. Would love nothing better than to end the game on a strikeout here and give her team a win. Chatini
painting the outside corner. Good frame work there from Tejido. The 1-2.
And there
Swing
she
and a
is.
miss. But no one's covering first. So the strikeout recorded, but the putout is not.
Heads up there by Ryland. It's taken off. First baseman steps in to celebrate, and catcher's got no one to throw to. Wilcox doing a nice job of handling that ball that was in the dirt. Schettini got the strikeout, but runner advances on the drop, third strike. Catcher does a good job of coming right out, looking for a defender to be at the base, and nobody there.
They're able to take, or the Cock rather, able to take advantage.
She does a great job, though, getting right out of the box. I think, you know, as a hitter, you want to fight for every opportunity, and she knew as soon as she swung and that ball was in the dirt to take off. Good speed. Here we are, first and third, 2 down.
Duffler an RBI single in her last at bat. Two balls and no strikes. Cock reaching on passed ball. Cole hoping to come across and score. Two and 1.
Schettini saying, no problem, I got this. I got another batter in me.
Three and 1. We did see Brianna Sanchez warming in the Puerto Rico pen earlier in this game. It's quiet now.
Again, Schettini just needs to go right at these hitters and force them to put the ball in play.
Throw down to second. Got her. And that's your ball game.
Wow.
However, the throw home, and is she out there? Nope, they're going to bring her back. Now, however, that was a walk. That was a walk. That was a three-ball count, if I remember correctly. 3 and 1. So that should be a walk. Should be a walk. The runner going from first to second should obviously be over at second, so bases should be loaded. And I think that everything is being cleaned up. And I think that is the situation.
Runner that scored has to go back, obviously, because the umpire had called time, because it was ball 4.
So now we've got everything straight. Bases are loaded with 2 out after the walk to Duffler. Puerto Rico coaching staff out to confer with crew chief and home plate umpire Scott Masleroff.
I think they're questioning the play at the plate, obviously because the play was thrown out, but the umpire said
should that matter? Because that was just ball 4.
And he had called time, so the umpire, runner on third, wouldn't have the ability to advance.
So I think that is all been explained now. And while Juan Vega is out there, he's going to head out to the circle and make sure that everyone is in the proper frame of mind here. They can try to finally close out this game. Michigan just keeps hanging on by a thread.
All of this has come with 2 outs.
Yep.
They have not died. keeping their game opportunity alive.
Puerto Rico was up by 10 going into the bottom of the 6th, had a chance to close things out there, but an error led the way to the run that extended the game here to the 7th inning. Here's the play. That's ball 4. Runner was on the move anyway, but she's going to advance to second anyway because of the walk. And you see,
home plate umpire is calling time there.
Yep.
As he's calling time, runner on third tries to score, but obviously time was out.
Right. Nazarov was pretty adamant about calling time, and now we're back to action. Bases loaded. Lily Lubbers.
Shattini again needs to just go right at these hitters.
I'll show you the sequence again. From the umpire's point of view, he calls time right there, right immediately. Says nope. Two and 0.
2 down here and a 9-run lead. Puerto Rico has lots of options. But most importantly, Shattini's got to go right at that strike zone and just, again, put the pressure on the offense. Can't score 9 runs with 1 walk or 1 swing.
Two and 1.
If I'm Shattini, I'm literally just going right back at her. Infield has lots of options. They can go to force at any base.
Michigan down to its last strike once again.
Shattini feeling it now. Maybe she wants another strikeout here.
Bases full. Cole at third, DeCock at second, Duffler at first. Full count.
Runners will be on the move.
Nowhere to put Lubbers. Time called. No.
Illegal pitch.
Yes. So that brings in a run. Now it's 12-4. What did she do here?
He called an illegal pitch. I'm not sure exactly what he called. We'll have to see if... I think she brought her hands together, separated, and brought her hands back together. Once you separate your hands on the mound, you can't come back.
So Cole scores. Lucy Baker, as we go back to the top of the order. Baker looking for her first base hit of the day. The saga continues. The 1-0. Giving Chase Martinez.
Oh, it's just out of play.
Yep.
Baker still alive. Giving her chance to keep her team playing. They are at the top of the order. Shattini's been very effective overall. This is her third time through the lineup, I believe.
Pitch low, 2-1. Lucy Baker awaiting the 2-1. Fair ball.
There it is.
And there it is. That's your ball game. Finally.
A little excitement there in the 7th inning. Well, the 6th and the 7th, actually.
Puerto Rico scores big early. They score big late. A bit tight towards the end. But Puerto Rico gets the 12-4 win over Michigan. They are now 2-0 in pool play, while Michigan falls to 1-1. Taking a look now at the updated standings in pool play. The Southeast Region champs from North Carolina, they will try to go to 2-0 themselves, but standing in their way will be the young ladies from Washington District 9. That game will begin on this field in just a few moments. This one was intriguing. Had big home runs early. Puerto Rico scored 4 in the top of the first inning. Things got a bit quiet in the middle. Big blast by Puerto Rico towards the end. In the end, it is Latin America Region champs, 12-4 winners over Michigan. We'll see you later on this afternoon on Field 2. On behalf of our crew, I'm Troy Clarity. Thanks for being with us here on ESPN+.